If you've ever taken your dog for a walk and noticed that they suddenly start pulling harder on the leash right before reaching home, you're not imagining things. This odd little behavior is something countless dog owners notice but rarely understand. Why is it that our dogs, after walking calmly for most of the trip, suddenly seem to charge forward like they ree in a race the moment they recognize the way home? You might think it's just excitement or impatience, but the real reason is much more fascinating, and it tells us a lot about how dogs think, feel, and experience the world around them. To understand why dogs do this, we first need to look at how their minds work during a walk. For a dog, going outside isn't just about exercise, it's a full sensory experience. Every scent, sound, and texture they encounter is like reading a new page in a storybook. When you first leave the house, your dog's brain lights up with curiosity. They sniff trees, lampposts, grass, and even other dogs' scent trails, collecting information about who's been around and what's been happening. In those early minutes, their pace is guided by discovery. But as the walk goes on, their focus slowly shifts, and when they sense that you're getting close to home, something interesting happens inside their brain. Dogs have a powerful internal navigation system. Just like humans can sense direction and recall familiar routes, dogs rely heavily on their memory, scent, and even subtle environmental cues like temperature and ground texture to recognize when they re-nearing familiar territory. As soon as they pick up on the familiar sense of home, their emotional state changes. That scent triggers a rush of comfort and anticipation, similar to how humans feel when they see their house after a long day. It's a mix of relief, familiarity, and reward. So, when they realize they're almost back, their excitement surges, and that energy translates into physical pulling. Another factor is routine. Dogs are creatures of habit, and they learn patterns incredibly fast. If you often give your dog food, treats, or water after a walk, they begin to associate returning home with something positive. Even the sound of your keys, the feel of the front steps, or the smell near your door becomes part of that reward loop. So, when your dog recognizes the final stretch, their body language changes, tail wagging faster, ears forward, leash tightening because they're anticipating that end-of-walk reward. It's a learned association, and it reinforces itself every single day. But it's not just excitement. For some dogs, especially those with high energy or anxiety, the rush back home can also be a way to regain a sense of safety. The world outside, while fun and stimulating, can also be overwhelming. Loud noises, other dogs, strangers, or traffic can make some dogs feel uneasy, even if they don't show it outwardly. Home is their comfort zone, the place where they feel completely safe and relaxed. So, when they recognize they're close, they instinctively speed up, almost as if they can't wait to get back to their den. What's fascinating is that this behavior isn't exclusive to domesticated dogs. Wolves and wild canines display similar tendencies when returning to their resting grounds after traveling. In the wild, getting home quickly can mean safety from predators, rest after exhaustion, or access to food. That same instinctive drive still lives in our pets, even after generations of domestication. So, when your dog tugs hard on the leash near home, part of that pull might be an ancient instinct kicking in the deep-seated urge to return to a safe, familiar place. Scientists who study canine behavior have found that dogs process familiar places using a combination of memory, smell, and emotional mapping. In fact, research shows that a dog's sense of smell is so advanced that they can detect and remember a scent trail days or even weeks later. When your dog walks through the neighborhood, they're constantly creating an invisible map made up of scents. Every time you take the same route, that map gets reinforced. So, by the time you're nearing home, your dog has already picked up on hundreds of familiar smells: the grass in your yard, the scent of your shoes, even the faint aroma of your front door. All of these tiny details trigger a feeling of recognition and excitement that builds up with every step closer. Think of it like how humans feel when they hear a familiar song that reminds them of home, or smell their favorite food cooking. It sparks emotion instantly. For dogs, home smells like safety, love, and routine. Their brains release dopamine, the feel-good chemical, as they anticipate returning to that comforting space. That's why some dogs start panting, wagging their tails faster, or even whining in excitement as they approach the front door. It's a genuine emotional response driven by positive association and instinct. But there's another layer to this behavior: the bond between dog and owner. Dogs are incredibly attuned to human habits, body language, and mood. They notice subtle cues like when you start to slow down near your house, reach for your keys, or change your tone of voice. These tiny signals confirm for them that the walk is about to end, and they mirror your energy. If you unconsciously move faster or show excitement about getting back inside, your dog picks up on that and responds in kind by pulling harder on the leash. In a way, they're feeding off your anticipation as much as their own. Understanding this behavior isn't just fascinating, it can also help improve your walks. While it's perfectly normal for dogs to get excited near home, excessive leash pulling can lead to frustration or even injury for both you and your pet. The good news is, you can manage this instinctive behavior with a few gentle training adjustments. One simple method is to slow your pace intentionally as you near home. When your dog begins to pull, stop walking and wait until the leash slackens before moving again. This teaches them that pulling won't get them home faster, calm walking will. Over time, they'll associate a relaxed pace with forward movement, reducing the habit naturally. Another tip is to vary your walking routes. If you always take the exact same path, your dog will start predicting when they're almost home, which intensifies their pulling. Changing directions or adding a few extra turns keeps them mentally engaged and breaks the pattern. You can even end the walk at a new spot once in a while, like sitting on a bench for a few minutes or giving them a treat away from home so that going home doesn't become the single focus of the walk. For dogs that pull due to anxiety or overstimulation, calming routines before and after walks can help. Start your walk with a minute of stillness or light petting to lower their excitement, and end it the same way. When they realize that returning home isn't a race, their energy will balance out naturally. In the end, the reason dogs pull harder near home is a mix of memory, instinct, excitement, and emotional bonding. It's a small window into how deeply they connect with their environment and with us. Every tug on the leash near your front gate is a reflection of trust your dog knows they're safe with you and eager to return to the place they love most. So, the next time your furry friend speeds up on that last stretch, smile and remember it's not misbehavior, it's affection in motion.